and the internet. That is, the communication cost is declining due to this internet. Nowadays, the transferring data over internet is very low. We call it goes to zero. That is, nowadays you can suppose you are sending one email. What's the cost? There is no cost. So here you see that communication cost has declined to zero. Nowadays you are talking, you are using some kind of social medias for talking here to your USA friend, Canada or Australia friends. You are not using the telecommunications. You are using these what? VoIP, Voice over Internet Protocol. So these VoIP you are using here for declining communication cost. I can give you, if I ask you what's the impact of this declining communication and internet cost. Nowadays, this is the impact. Here I am talking about impact. The internet cost has reduced. What's the impact of these reductions of internet cost? Answer is, nowadays we can transfer 1 GB data from New York to Dhaka at lower cost than compared to transferring 1 GB data from top floor of a building to the down floor of ground floor of that building.
Same.
Maybe higher, like library. You see, library. Some books are there. So you are just transferring these books from top floor of that building to the ground floor. There is, we call labor. You need to pay labor some money. But you are transferring 1 GB data from USA to here. Cost is lower. Cost is lower. Think about your internet cost. How many GB you are consuming each month?
More than 50 GB.
Unlimited. So some guys are using more than 500 GB, more than 1000 GB.
Yes.
But they are paying only 500 taka. So,
Per GB 1 taka.
you see that here you are, this is all these happen what? And due to that the communication cost has reduced. Okay, so you need to here, okay, I can share one interesting experience of my life. There is one of my friend, he is always communicating with me from South Korea. My school friends over telephone. Then one day I suggest him, if you just call me on Facebook Messenger, Simo or Viber, cost would be very limited. So you see, some guys still don't habituated with these issues. But due to that, they are paying more money. Understand? That is, if you don't know, then sometimes you need to spend more. So you need to know about these issues. Here, decline communication cost is very low. Here, we call this is the impact of declining communication cost. That is the as I have given examples, like transferring 1 GB data from top floor of a building to ground floor, and from USA to Bangladesh. And next one is standards and network effects. This is the last slide for today's lectures. We will complete these lectures on the next class. Here you see what we are talking, technology drivers of infrastructure simulations. All these are, we have discussed some law. All these laws are happening. We are just mentioning these laws. Here standards and network effects. What's that? As there is a standards, that's why you can choose the product very easily. If there is no standards, it would be tough to decide which kind of product you should buy. Suppose, sir, if millions of options are there, I can give you one example, like your operating systems. If all the companies think, okay, we would run our computer based on our operating system, own operating systems. Then what would happen? There will be millions of, thousands of operating systems would be there in the market. At that time, it would be tough to decide, okay, which standards or which product I should use. But as there is a standard, there is okay some standard like you are suggesting, okay, you should use Windows, you should use Macintosh, or you should use Linux or something like that. That is, there are some standards. That's why you are easily choosing the standards. This is happening from consumer's perspective. That is, as there is a standards, consumers are easily getting the product or easily choosing the product. This is from consumer's perspective. This is a standards effects. As there is a standards, that's why consumers can choose the product very easily. And from producer's perspective, as there is a standards, producers are selling more product. Producers are selling, you see, as same standards are choosing by everyone, that is, producers are getting more what? Demand from customers. That means they are producing more product and the production cost become lower. You know, overhead cost what? Become lower. And that's why we call this impact happen on the producer side. They can produce the product at lower cost. And that's why the price of the technology or price of the product is what? Lower. Understand? So I have discussed two impact of standard and network effect. Number one is from consumer's perspective. Number two is what? Producer's perspective. From consumer's perspective, consumers can easily choose the standards. This is the consumer's perspective. And from producer's perspective, producers can, as more and more people are demanding same kind of product, their production cost is what? Lower. This is the impact of the standard and network effect. Okay? Now sir, question. Any question? Okay, here standard and network effects. There are two impacts. I mentioned two impacts of this standard and network effect. One is from consumer's perspective, another is what? From consumer's perspective, as there is a standards, it is more easier to choose the standard. This is the consumer's impact. I have given example like lots of standard, lots of products are there. Like I have given operating systems. If there is thousands of operating systems, then it would tough to decide which type of operating system I should use. But here, as there is standards, that's why very few product or very few operating systems become standards. And here Windows is holding the maximum market share. So that's why it become what? Standard. And due to that, customers are choosing same kind of product. This is from consumer's perspective. And from producer's perspective, producers are able to produce the product at lower cost because customers are choosing same kind of product. Suppose you are producing 10,000 units. Production cost is suppose $10. While you are producing 10 million units, production cost would be $2 or $3. That means the more you produce, the less would be your variable cost. Understand? So this is happening. This impact happened due to standard and network effect on the producer's perspective. Here?
Sir, I have a question.
Okay.
From a consumer perspective, the standardization is relevant with the theory of water qualifier. That means I have lots of options, and I just decide the best one.
Yeah, you decide the best one. Why? How do you decide best one? Because more and more people are using one product that is the best. That becomes standards. That become standards. So why most of the people are using Windows? It becomes standards. And so that's why consumers, the choosing options become very easier. But if there is no standards, it would tough to decide, okay, which one we should pursue. Okay?
Yes, sir.
Sir, any other question?
Sir.
Yeah.
Sir, law of diminishing return, this is traditional.
Yeah, okay.
Law of increasing return, this is the latest.
This is the network economy. This concept of network economy.
So it look like
Keep silent, sir.
so it look like I managed it. Suppose I collected project from like $5 lakh.
Okay.
$5 lakh, and I work our Deshi employees only 1 lakh taka. And this is
Okay, this is not applicable. Traditional economics concept is applicable to everywhere, but you cannot apply the network economics concept in everywhere. It will apply on specific arenas, on the networking part, not everywhere. Okay, law of diminishing return is traditional economics, and network economics will apply for only network part. I can give you another example. We will talk about this later. You see, in case of traditional law here, we are using one-to-many communications. But right now, due to social media, we are using many-to-many communications. In case of one-to-many producers, you are the producers of television program. You are producing. Producers are producing. This is one, and here audience are seeing. This is one-to-many. One-to-many. Now think about social media. This is many-to-many. Each and everyone is creating content, and each and everyone is just what? Audience. This is many-to-many. That means content is creating more. Understand? And this is happened due to network. Okay? Okay, sir. Any other question? Okay, sir.